How's it going?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah?
Welcome, welcome.
Yeah. I like this layout.
Mm-hmm.
This is a cool thing.
Japanese ornamental wall.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool, cool.
Picked it up. It's as heavy as it looks. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But as many times as it's moved, you kind of don't want to give up on it.
No, it's really cool. It's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. Made it all the way up here to Colorado.
Yeah.
So, ready to jump in?
One ski destination to another. Yeah, we can start, but before we do, I actually have a quick question for you. I was told that we were going to be able to go skiing right after this interview. Is that, did you hear about that?
Jane, skiing appointment
Today?
Hey Siri, when is my skiing appointment?
Your appointment tomorrow is at 2 p.m. It's called Skiing with Marion.
Tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. I think I can make that work. No worries. We're all good. I'll have to figure out who to fire when I get back too.
Okay.
You know, someone told me I was skiing today. I wouldn't, like, I'm sweating right now. I wouldn't have dressed like this if it weren't, you know, so.
Fired up for skiing. So.
I am. That's why, you know, yeah, we can get into the ideas because I'm obviously very passionate about skiing. I'm sweating right now, guys. This is ridiculous, but we're all good.
We're going to hop into it then.
Okay, yeah.
All right, and skiing tomorrow.
Yeah, skiing tomorrow. I'm down.
Okay, all right, we'll do that.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Discussions with David. I have Marion Benier here, the founder of Freshline Skis. He's the CEO of that. Very passionate about skiing, so he has something he wants to have a discussion with me and you all about. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to hop into that. But, tell me a little bit about your company first.
Yeah, so the company right now is called Freshline Skis. Basically, if I had to break it down into like a really simple business value proposition to use business lingo, basically I want to offer access, unlimited season-long access to a wide variety of skis throughout the season. So the idea is that when you have different snow conditions, there's a good chance you're going to want to ski on a different type of ski because they're all constructed with different technologies and capabilities and feedback. So some skis will have a wider waist and rise in the tips early and rear so that it floats better on powder and you get a much more playful feel on a powder day when we get a beautiful 12, 15 inches dumps versus maybe a few weeks go by and we're not getting a lot of snow. The runs could be perfectly groomed, like nice hard-packed groomers. You're probably not going to want to ski on those fat, high-raised tip skis because it's not going to allow that same feel. You can't get on your edges as easy because it's a much wider ski. And this would allow someone to, on one day, ski on the fat skis and have a great time, and on another day, ski on these skinnier skis and have a great time without having to accumulate the cost of owning a lot of skis because it is an expensive industry. It's an expensive product.
I'm personally still collecting hiking gear, and I haven't quite advanced to my ski gear yet. That's an investment. I'll probably start buying that right after ski season is
That's
over.
if you're looking to buy, from my experience, it's not a terrible time, but I'm hoping to kind of alleviate that pain, just change the way that people view the skiing industry and like the product of skis itself. You know, right now people, I think of it as like a toy. It's a fun toy, and it would be fun to own a lot of pairs. But if I could have access to 20 pairs, 20 different styles and pairs at a much lower cost than accumulating and purchasing, then yeah, definitely I think it's
perfect.
It's a cool idea.
So of course, today there's like so many colors and there's so many taglines and there's so many phrases and what do you have in mind? What's going to capture the audience? How do we know it's you? What is your phrase or your slogan?
Yeah. I don't really have a logo yet. You were mentioning like colors and stuff, and I think that will definitely be an important part. But still a little bit more to figure out before deciding on the logo. The tagline for this service, this idea actually is I came up with myself a few weeks ago. It's powder, piste, or park. It's your choice. And basically it's just, it's short, it's sweet. You have 3 words that start with P, so you have the, I forget what that's called,
I
but
can see a logo forming in my head already.
you can see the logo.
That showed for it.
I might have to hire you on afterwards.
All right, all
I'll
right.
bring you on, fire the other guy, and
All right.
then we'll be all good. But it was short, it was sweet, and I feel like it really defined what I'm offering
Exactly.
to the customer. It's like you get to choose whether you want to ski on a powder ski, a piste ski, which is groomer's hard pack snow, or if you wanted to go for a park ski and you wanted to play around hitting rails and jumps and etc. Because depending on what you're wanting to do that day, even like I mentioned earlier, it's crucial to have a ski that is designed for that specific style of skiing.
Mhm. So, were you, this idea, I imagine it came from somewhere, were you sitting on top of a hill and you had an inspiration? Were you skiing on a certain type of snow and you didn't have the right skis? Like, where did this come from? Did you see somebody that was talking about something?
Yeah, I would have to take you back to freshman year of college, which is about 4 years ago now. Yeah. Crazy long time ago. But that's when I first started falling in love with skiing. I'm from St. Louis, so not as exciting of activity out there. Where there's one hill, I call it a hill, yes, and it's a couple lifts with like 7 to 10 runs. It's ridiculous, and it's ice. It's all man-made, so.
So for all of our viewers in St. Louis that are watching and shaking their head, they're like, yes, I know that hill.
They probably do, and we took a lot of school trips there, and yeah, good times, bad times, but what are you gonna do? I'm grateful to be in Colorado now with the Colorado snow, but yeah, like I was saying, came here, started falling in love with skiing. I didn't know much about the different types of skis and how snow could have, the type of snow and the texture of the snow could have such a big impact on the day and just the enjoyment of the activity.
Right.
And so I kind of bought a random pair of skis. It was just like, okay, like I need a pair of skis, I'll purchase these.
They're all the same as far as you were concerned?
Yeah, made a decent investment. I did look for used options, and like you had mentioned earlier, I looked to purchase them out at the tail end of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty quickly I realized, depending on the snow, with that one pair of skis, I would have very different days. Some days were easy and fun, other days would be really challenging, and I was getting thrown all over the place on my skis. So I ended up saving money up to purchase a second pair of skis. And at this point I had developed my knowledge of ski types and the benefits that they provided you by having these different styles of skis for different days, and ended up buying the wider pair of skis and starting to use those more and be learning more from personally, like my enjoyment of the different types of skis on different types of snow conditions. But then even after that, this most recent year, I started looking into getting a third pair because I wanted a different style that had in the middle of those two options. I had a 90 millimeter waist option and a 116 millimeter waist option. I wanted something in the 103 to 105 range.
Mm-hmm.
And that was going to be another $800-900 to get a third pair of skis. And that's where this idea came from, was like, I want to own all the skis, if I'm being honest. Like, as a selfish human, it's one of my favorite activities.
It's like Pokemon. You just gotta catch them all.
If that's your passion, man, if you're into Pokemon, then yes, it's exactly like Pokemon. But, yeah, it's like that, where you have to have all the different cards, all the different characters, all the different collectibles and versions of the same character. A new model comes out and has a new top sheet on it with a little bit different ski technology. I want it,
What does this look like on the hill, for example? Like these people are showing up. Are they like flashing their feet and they're like, yeah, look at my new gear? You don't say it, but you're trying to show it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. That's actually a really good question. I haven't given a lot of thought to how people will be touting this on the mountain, because that could actually provide a really good opportunity to expand and grow and like let new people know about the service and offering and what they can get from signing up to be a member with Freshline Skis.
And then I've been to a couple of trade shows. The outdoor retailer just moved here to Colorado. That's a big, big thing. And I got to walk through there, and I mean, it was gorgeous. It's not open to the public, and I
Okay.
understand why, because it was packed in there. And if it was open to the public, there wouldn't have been room to walk. It would have been so filled up with people. But there were so many products to choose from, so many things going on, so many things added. There's a lot of ideas coming out there. That's what trade shows are for, is getting ideas out there. So my question is, what type of research did you do? How do you know that your market is going to be, you know, like, why this service? Does that make sense? I imagine
Yeah.
you did a fair amount of research, because there's lots of ideas that come out and they fail. They fall flat on their face. That's just the nature of business and the way that the world is working. But what did you do that you know that, yes, your target audience is going to get this?
Yeah, so as far as research goes, I started with looking more at the external environments, just to make sure the health of the industry as a whole has a good outlook and isn't projected to fail or decline unnecessarily in the near future. You know, just making sure it is a good industry to go into. So I me and my team performed some PESTLE analysis, which is an acronym that stands for basically going through the political, economical, social, technological, environmental, and legal factors that could impact your business and the market that your business works in.
Back when I was in school, there was just SWOT analysis. I'm happy that they're trying to incorporate the whole alphabet into it.
Yeah, I mean, they used E twice. They missed a lot of letters, but you're right. They're trying to create some new tools to outline how to conduct market research and really validate your ideas and make sure that you're going forward and it's worth funding and not, you know, like I hear a lot of people say it's better to fail early. That's a success in its own way. So it's very important to conduct this market research. Like I was saying, I did also do SWOT. I did do a PESTLE, but I did also do SWOT to look at opportunities and threats for the external environment specifically, and then potential strengths and weaknesses that my team has and this business has specifically on a more internal level.
Would you care to elaborate on that?
Yeah, definitely. I'll go through some of the PESTLE points that I thought were the most important for my business. Right off the bat, the biggest one is probably going to fall under the environmental.
The other E.
The other E, yes. They're getting me confused now. The other E, environmental, because of global warming and climate change and all of those factors that we're dealing with currently. Snow, weather patterns are changing. So some years we don't get as much snow in Colorado, but when that happens, a lot of times they will get more snow south of us because of the change in the jet stream down in Taos, or vice versa. They can see more snow up north if it's an El Nino versus La Nina year, as well as possible changes in snow conditions in other areas of the world, whether it be the East Coast or over in Japan or Australia. And I think this could have both a negative and positive benefit to my business. The negative obviously being, as it gets warmer, if there's less and less snow, then the skiing industry might shrink. The other scenario where I see this as possibly being a positive, though, is if it changes the conditions where we start to see more snow in other areas or different areas year to year, but it's still falling in the mountains. I believe people, especially people who participate in the ski industry, because they usually have a little bit more money, because it is an expensive industry, will be willing to travel and go to these other locations. And as soon as that happens, having a service like mine where they don't have to be transporting their skis from Colorado, USA to Switzerland to go ski in the Alps for a couple weeks, I think that's a huge value added to those
course.
customers.
I've done a lot of traveling in my life, and when I got here to Colorado and I got to the airport, what do you call the big machine that transports the skis? When you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they have the
Just like that.
specific. It's like baggage claim,
Oh,
but
right,
for
right.
skis specifically, right? Is
That
what
was
you're
the,
talking about?
believe it or not, that was the first time I ever saw one of those, and I'm thinking to myself as I'm watching people collect their skis, I'm like, oh, this is serious.
Yeah.
You know, so this is the place where, of course, it'll do well, and I like the fact that even people like me, you know, I don't want to spend all that money on these gears. What if I suck? What if I'm not good at this?
Right.
I'm new to this, or you know, what if my wife wants to try it, for example? I'm able to see what type of snow it is, get the right type of skis for that service. And
Exactly.
yeah, so that I really like that idea. And then of course, I would naturally want to ask is how would this service fit the market you're aiming for, and how could you expand on this?
Yeah, definitely. So after doing the little bit more of a external research and conducting the pestle and SWOT and realizing that yes, the ski industry should be safe for the next 15 to 20 years. Yes, there are trends for people to be renting more equipment in general compared to purchasing it and owning it outright. And I went in, after establishing that, I did some, not secondary research, but primary research, interviews and surveys specifically, speaking with the people I assumed were in my target market, to really nail down and define exactly what they're looking for from this service, what features are the most important, how much are they willing to pay, how do they want the service offered, do they want this as its own standalone business, do they want it as an add-on to the passes that they're already purchasing because they're planning to ski at least 10 days, or was it something else, you know?
So when you're going through this, I imagine you're learning a lot of stuff. That's the whole point of doing the analysis and collecting the data. What type of things did you have to change? Because I imagine there's an idea that sparks in your head. It's a service I want to provide, but then you have to make it to reality. It has to be realistic, and it has to service the people. Because at the end of the day, profit, you want to help, but if there's no profit, then the service dies. So after doing this research, what did you have to change? Did you have to tweak to get it more directed to where you wanted to go?
Yeah, so initially I was really wanting this to be like a standalone business, like a business that I started by myself and was able to offer this solution to skiers from me personally. But I quickly realized from speaking with some of my customers and the feedback that I got from my survey that it's much more likely that people would be interested in an idea like this if it's an add-on to the season passes that they're already purchasing.
Right.
And being able to partner with someone like Vail, who offers the Epic Pass and has a lot of locations in Colorado, could really help me to cut down on the costs that would be associated if I was trying to start this business on my own, without pairing with someone who's already established in the industry, just because it would require me to purchase a lot of different new skis, and that's a big cost to myself, as well as some other factors. So pretty quickly I decided that it was going to need to be paired up with a pass offer or a current existing ski rental equipment company, to get the most success for my money out of this idea, for this business.
Right. And there's a clear passion for skiing there. A question that you have is, let's go way back. Remember when you were kids and your parents would buy you that toy and you had to get the shapes into like a circle, had to go in the circle, and triangle.
Yeah,
Let's
definitely.
talk about those two parts from a marketing perspective. You have your target audience.
Mhm.
You have your service. Explain the shape, explain the service, how you got that to fit together. To recap that whole thing there so it's clear.
Yeah, so, I think if it was like a specific shape, I don't know, probably like a a circle or a square.
Straightforward.
Straightforward, you know,
Yeah,
easy to
straightforward.
understand.
And your service is this circle, this square.
This circle or square, yeah.
Your
Then,
target
but
audience.
yeah, so I know where you're going. I was trying to make a joke there. Basically, it was combining that external, kind of more secondary research that I did about understanding the market, and then through and being like, yes, there is the possibility to go into this market and offer a service, and then being able to define my target market through the surveys. I was able to realize it's probably going to be someone who's a little bit younger, someone who is skiing, as I mentioned earlier, more than just at 4 or 5 days. They're going to hit that 6 or 7 days or more to make sure they make the most of buying a season-long pass, because that's usually the number of days skiing required to make the cost of a season pass worth it.
Okay.
And then from there, being able to realize who my target market was, realize that there was a market, I then had to, those specific questions about how they want the service offered, whether they want it from the pass or not, really helped to shape the product item, as in your
Our service
analogy,
square.
into more of a circle, so that it would actually fit
Gotcha.
with the circle I created from doing the market research and
Perfect.
figuring out who my target market actually was. So, you know, figuring out that they want it offered from the pass offer was a big deal, and it made a big change. The efficiency of being able to pick up their skis was important. They don't want to be waiting a long time in rental shops, like waiting for skis to get tuned for them. So an aspect of my business that I haven't talked about as heavily would be the application that you would be checking out these skis for the day, renting the skis for, so that they would be accessible and ready to go right as you got to the mountain, and you weren't waiting around in line waiting for the
Snow to melt.
people, yeah, as the snow is melting, waiting for the people to like actually tune your skis to your
Right.
your needed skill level and
So
boot
it's
size
efficient,
and all
yeah.
that stuff. So it's making it more efficient. That was a really important part of what the target market
Of
wanted.
course. And there's always this, I was just at Starbucks this morning, and I'm there waiting for my coffee. And it's a new Starbucks, just opened up down the street. And, you know,
There's a few blocks. I think I drove by on the way here, and
Yeah.
there was like at 10:30, and there was like a line down,
So
out and around
that's
the parking
the
lot.
issue. They're a little bit slower, and you know, with Colorado, we're all pretty polite here, but they
Mhm.
are a little bit slower. And this lady comes in, and she walks right up, and she grabs her cups and walks off. And of course, everybody's staring at her and a little bit envious. So I imagine your application is, you said it, here's my specs, here's all the information. Instead of me standing here waiting for my skis to get tuned, somebody's just gonna kind of walk in and go, hey, have a great day, and walk
Exactly.
out. So
Exactly.
that would be the perfect idea there. So for the audience, run the name of your company again, the name of your product, that your service that you're gonna be providing.
So it's Freshline Skis. Look for that to potentially change if we do end up partnering with a ski pass holder or partner with a current ski rental membership.
Of course.
But the service that we're offering right now is the ski rental membership. So it is a season-long membership that allows you unlimited access to our entire selection of skis, from
What were our 3 Ps again?
powder, piste, and park.
It's your choice.
It's your choice. I'll see you out there, guys.
Awesome. Thank
Yeah,
you, Marion.
yeah, thank
It's
you
been
so
a
much for
pleasure.
having me.
Of course.
I
Tomorrow
can-
at 2.
Tomorrow at 2, I'll be wearing the same stuff.
Mhm.
I can get out of this stuff now because I'm done like sweating this puddle,
Mhm.
but you know,
Awesome.
yeah, tomorrow at 2.
I
Thank
look
you so
forward
much.
to it.
Yeah.